Last Tuesday, between two meetings, I built a real working app in 1 hour. No code editor, no deployed commands, no Stack Overflow. I described what I wanted out loud to Claude, watched it build, and at the end of the hour, I had a live URL on the internet that real people could use. I want to walk you through exactly what I built, the prompts I used, and the moment it stopped feeling like AI and started feeling like a co-founder. In this video, I will rebuild the same app in front of you so you can see it is not a trick. The app I built is a small but real product. A workout journaling tool for myself because the apps on the market are all either too complicated or too consumer shiny for what I actually want. The requirements were specific. I want to log a workout in under 10 seconds. I wanted to learn my exercises so I do not have to type them. I want a graph of my progress on the lifts I care about. I want to share a link with my coach so they can see my history. That was the whole spec. The setup took 90 seconds. I opened Claude in my browser, I started a new conversation, I typed, build me a small web app for personal workout logging. The features are, I listed the 4 requirements. Then I added one more line. Use the simplest possible stack, single page, minimal dependencies. I want to be able to deploy this to a free static host today. Claude responded with a clarifying question. Should the data live in the browser or in a backend? I said browser for now with optional sync later. Then it started. For the next 11 minutes, Claude wrote files, a single HTML file, a single CSS file, a single JavaScript file, a small set of icons. The interface was clean. Big buttons, voice input for adding exercises, local storage for persistence, a clean graph view using a tiny charting library. I was reading the code as it appeared. It was real code, not a hello world, not a demo, real. At 12 minutes, I asked Claude, can I see it run? Claude said yes, here's how. It gave me a one-line command. I copied it into my terminal. The local server started. I opened the URL. The app was live on my own laptop. I logged my actual workout from that morning. The app saved it. I logged a fake workout. The app showed the new entry. The graph populated correctly. At 18 minutes, I noticed a bug. When I logged the same exercise twice in a row, the second entry replaced the first instead of appending. I told Claude. Claude apologized, found the bug in 3 seconds, fixed it, and told me to refresh. Bug gone. At 23 minutes, I said, I want this online. Help me deploy. Claude walked me through deploying to Vercel, 3 commands in the terminal. I had a free account already. The URL was live in 2 minutes. I shared the URL with myself on my phone. I added a workout from my phone on the live URL in under 10 seconds, exactly what I had asked for. At 30 minutes, I asked for the coach sharing feature. I want a way to give my coach a read-only link to my workout history. Claude added a share button. The button generates a unique URL. The URL displays my history in a clean read-only view. I tested it on a friend. He could see my workouts. He could not modify anything. He said, this is exactly what I would want from my own clients. At 40 minutes, I added one more feature I had not originally planned. I wanted to log how I felt after each workout. One number, energy level 0 to 10. Claude added the field, updated the graph to overlay my energy on top of my volume, and even added a one-line insight at the bottom that says, you tend to log highest volume on weeks where average energy is above 7. That tiny insight is something I have always wanted from a workout app and never gotten. At 55 minutes, I cleaned up. I asked Claude to make the buttons bigger on mobile, fix one color contrast issue, and add the title and favicon. All done in 3 minutes. At 60 minutes, the app was live. The URL is in the description. It is the actual app I am using. It is not a demo. It is what I logged my workout in this morning. Now, let me address the obvious question. Could a normal coder have built this in an hour without Claude? Honestly, no. Maybe in 3 hours, working hard. The deploy alone usually takes me 20 minutes of context switching. Claude collapsed the whole pipeline because it knew the simplest stack, the simplest deploy, and the simplest fixes. I was not thinking about any of those decisions. I was thinking about what I wanted the app to do. Now, let me address the second question. Is this code production quality at scale? For my use case, yes. For 10,000 users, no. There is no auth, no rate limiting, no backend storage. Adding all that would take a few more hours, and Claude could do most of it, but I would want a human to read every line if real money or real privacy were on the line. For a tool I built for myself in 1 hour, this is exactly the right amount of code, not a kilo more. Here's the broader takeaway. The cost of having custom software you do not just download from somebody else has collapsed. 5 years ago, if I wanted a workout app shaped exactly like my brain, I either had to build it myself in 3 weekends or accept somebody else's compromises. Today, I can describe my brain to Claude in 5 sentences and have a working app in 1 hour. That changes who can have custom software. The answer is now everybody. What you should do tonight. Pick one tiny tool you wish existed, not a unicorn product, a tiny utility, a grocery list that handles your specific patterns, a reading log shaped like you actually read, a bookmarking tool that organizes the way you think. Open Claude, tell it to build it. The first 30 minutes will feel weird. The hour mark will feel magical. Subscribe if you want the next experiment. Send this to a friend who has been saying for years, I wish there was an app for X. Now go think of your X and ask Claude to build it.